Theo Dager, and he is one of our Student Impact basketball coaches and players, and so he's going to kind of tell us about himself and how he got involved with basketball and all of the things he's looking forward to with this season. So, and we have Dom, who's not behind the camera this time.
Yeah.
He's actually in the episode. So if you'd like to introduce yourself, tell us who you are and all that stuff.
I'm Theo. I've been playing for Student Impact basketball since 7th grade. I'm a senior. My main sport's lacrosse. Been playing that since 4th grade. Always a good time, and I'm just ready for this season. Get to coach and play. It's going to be a good time.
Good time? Dom, what about you? Have you ever played basketball?
Yes, I have. I played a little bit in high school. I went to a small Catholic boarding school in Arkansas, and so I just played freshman and senior year. I didn't even play sophomore and junior year, but basketball's my favorite sport to watch, and then
Really?
I don't know, baseball might be my favorite sport to play, but basketball's definitely up there. So yeah.
Cool. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about your experience with Student Impact basketball, all of your other sports, and all that fun stuff. But before we get into it, we'll do a question of the day. So these are all written by our students, so they can be a little bit out there. This one's really out there. So what is your favorite hot dog brand?
Hot dog brand. What would the options be for that?
I'm not really sure. I know there's Frank's,
Nathan's.
I've always
Hebrew
wanted.
National,
Nathan's.
Do you
Ballpark,
have a top one?
I would have to go.
Tyson,
I would say
Or
Nathan's,
Myers?
but they kicked out. Who was the hot dog eating contest?
Joey
guy?
Chestnut.
Yeah, they kicked him out this year.
Do you even
Wait,
know
why
who Joey
did
Chestnut is?
Yes, he used to live next to my best friend. Talia Whitesell is his neighbor.
Yeah, he lives in Westfield, and he got
Yeah.
kicked out of that hot dog eating contest for some reason, and no one watched it this year.
Wait, no one knows why he got kicked out?
I think it was because he was sponsored by someone else or something.
I heard something about something vegan or I don't know.
Vegan.
Something
he went vegan or
No. One of the sponsorship companies or something like that either was vegan or anti-vegan or whatever. I don't know. I feel like it's something like that. I don't know.
How'd you get kicked out of a hot dog eating contest? That's gotta be. Those are so. Do you guys like watching those?
I don't think I've ever watched one.
I've watched it 2 years ago. It was pretty cool. He's crazy with how many he eats.
It's
I could
disgusting.
not do that. Oh, that's so
No, and
gross.
they dip their buns in the water, so it you just swallow it all. It's so
that's-
gross. They did one, Rocks the Fourth, forever ago. They had one, and my dad's friend was in it, and it was the nastiest thing I've ever seen. I felt sick.
Can't
the rest
even
of the night.
think about it. It's so gross.
Yeah, it's gross.
How
Well,
many do you think you could eat?
Oh, I feel like I could do pretty good. I've done the Bub's Burgers, that giant burger before.
yeah.
I feel like I did pretty good at that. I feel like I could get 12 hot dogs.
12 hot dogs.
Really?
Don't you guys do eating contests at
After hours, yeah.
How many
I
did
think
you
we did a hot dog eating contest, but it was one. And so
Who won?
you just whoever could do it the fastest won.
Oh.
I don't even remember who won.
How many do you think you could eat?
Oh, I don't think I'd eat that many. Maybe
I don't like hot dogs.
maybe 6 or 8. I don't know.
6 or 8. Is
Yeah.
it in a time frame? How many you could eat?
I think so, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I feel like I could do I hate hot dogs. I feel like I could do 6.
I hate
I
that.
had to starve myself the day before.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
And I would not be able to do it very fast. It would take me 30 minutes
Uh-huh.
to get 6.
Yeah.
I've always wanted a wiener dog. I wanted to name him Frank or Sizzle
Mhm.
because of hot dogs. Anyways, okay. So tell us how you got involved with Student Impact and when that happened, how you found out about it, and your first few years with basketball.
Yeah, so I first started in Student Impact when I didn't make the team for middle school, which wasn't the best, but it's all right. I got into Student Impact. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It's way more relaxed than having to go to practice every day. Just get to play games with my friends. And then I started coaching as a freshman, and I coached with Cohen. Been doing that ever since. Now, senior year, Cohen now graduated, so I'm by myself coaching with some of my friends. But, yeah, we're going to win a championship this year.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
So did you say lacrosse is your favorite sport, your main sport?
It is, yeah.
Gotcha. So when did you start doing lacrosse, and then when did you first start playing basketball and all that kind of stuff?
So I feel like I've been playing basketball really my whole life. And then when I moved here from Fort Wayne, I picked up the lacrosse as a sport, and I've enjoyed that more. I think I was better at it. So I played for the school, been playing varsity for 4 years, and I think it was more of my sport over basketball.
Gotcha. So you like started playing basketball first, and then you got into lacrosse.
Yeah, for sure.
What position, basketball-wise, have you played?
I feel like more of a power forward. I don't think I'm small enough to be a point guard, but I don't think I'm tall enough or big enough to be a center. So I'm right in between.
So Mac, what are the 5 positions in basketball?
Okay.
This is a running joke on the podcast.
Yeah.
Paint.
No.
No, wait. What's
That's an area
I thought
on the
Izzy was
floor.
paint.
Paint, right? That's what Izzy said.
No,
Point and paint.
Izzy is, I would say, probably a power forward or a center.
Oh, so she didn't have the right terms?
No, probably not.
Oh, okay.
She plays in the paint as a power
Middle?
forward. No.
Left wing.
Soccer now?
Okay. So, point guard. Point guard.
There's another guard.
Line guard.
No.
Shooter guard.
Shooting guard.
Shooting guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are 2 forwards.
Basketball's my favorite sport.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So you played for the middle school team for a little, or you tried to play for a middle school
I
team?
tried. I did not succeed.
I gotcha. And then you jumped into Student Impact.
I did.
Gotcha. So what was like your first year playing Student Impact basketball like?
First year, I wasn't expecting like anything. I was just going in to see what it was like, and I didn't get a ton of friends on my team. I really just got to meet new people and won good amount of games. Didn't win a championship. It was fun though. I mean, I played ever since.
Yeah.
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 What do you think the difference for like playing in a normal rec league like WYSI or whatever versus like Student Impacts League?
No, yeah, it's definitely different. It's like Student Impact, it's relaxed, you get it more fun, and then those other leagues, it's more competitive practices. It's not like my flow. I like just to play, have fun.
Do you feel like there's a different relationship when the coaches are like high school students and younger versus with other leagues where coaches are like adults or parents?
Yeah, because I feel like you get more of a connection with high schoolers because they're more your age, they know what you like. And then with older coaches, they have more knowledge on the game, but you don't get to know them as well.
Yeah. Do you remember who your coaches were like your 7th grade year?
Oh, no, I don't. 8th grade, I know, was Cohen.
Okay, that's
so
cool.
that was the first time I actually met him. And
Really?
then ever since then, that's when we started coaching together.
So when you guys met in 8th grade, did you just stay friends like going forward?
Yeah, that's really where it
cool.
started, yeah.
That's cool. So then when you guys were able to coach together, did you like do all the draft things together and like all of that? Or was it more like his?
I feel like he knew what he was doing because he drafted his brother and then all of his friends. And then I was just there to go help on game day.
Yeah.
Assistant coach.
Which year was your best season? Because you guys have coached together for like forever.
Coaching wise, I don't know if we've ever had a good season, to be honest.
Is that his fault or yours?
That's got to be his fault. I'm there. I'm supporting.
I feel like when he was on the podcast last year, he said something about how his stats just got lower each year that he coached.
Sounds about right.
That's funny. That's funny.
I have to make a difference this year. Show him I can actually win as the head coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got something to prove now.
Yeah. Clearly, you weren't the issue. That's what you have to show. Is it going to be weird for you going into this season and not having him there? Like,
yeah, because he did more of the responsibilities, letting the parents know what time game day is. But now I got to handle all that now, so it's going to be different.
Yeah. And so you're like head coach for the first time.
Yeah.
Is there something like you've been in a lot of sports, obviously, growing up. Is there something that you're going into this coaching season and this is your first time being the head coach, that you're going to take advice from like previous coaches or like other sports or like lessons you've learned in the athletic world?
I feel like in lacrosse, it's all about energy. I like to bring energy to the games, make us have fun. It's not all about winning, but we get to be competitive, have fun, and bring the energy every game.
Yeah. Do you have like a pre-game
snack? That's what you got last year.
Pre-game snack. I love some good Chick-fil-A before a game.
Oh, that's what
Chick-fil-A
they said
sandwich.
too.
I do that for lacrosse and for basketball.
Okay.
I think Bahar
It's a
said
go-to.
something ridiculous like Taco Bell.
Someone said like
That's
a Taco Bell and then like a milkshake too. That's wild.
I could run with that.
Exactly.
So yours is a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Uh-huh.
That's interesting. Dom, when you played sports, did you have like a pre-game snack or
I feel
meal?
like usually no. Like
No?
I would maybe have a little something or maybe eat like a bigger lunch or something like that. But like I never wanted to like be running around like a full stomach. I just like would go ham after the game or something like that.
Yeah.
When I was in competitive cheer, I don't want to count this as a snack, but when we were backstage, they would give us pixie sticks because they believed that would give us energy.
Like the sugar things?
Yeah, pixie sticks. Like, because I went to Indiana Elite, a place in, I think it's Fishers? Yeah. And every year they give you pixie sticks because they believe that, like, it gives you the most energy on stage and you felt like you were going to throw up. Like,
That's
it was
funny.
so
Ew,
bad.
That's
So
gross.
it didn't work like it was
Nope.
supposed to?
Not at all.
Not successful.
Nope.
I think it's funny when, like, after games during the season, if you go to Taco Bell, like, right after Student Impact's done, it's filled with, like, all the basketball players and all the coaches.
For sure.
Have you guys ever gone to the Chipotle by Grand Park after all the games are done?
Yeah.
It
it's
is
kinda,
packed.
It's kind of crazy.
They're
It
out
is
of rice and
packed.
chicken.
They're out of everything.
I went
Yeah.
there after church one day, and I think it was like a ton of soccer games got like done. They were out of chicken, cheese, and like beef. And I was like, how are you supposed to make a
eat?
bowl? Yeah, what
How
are you
are
gonna
you
eat?
open?
Go somewhere
Yeah.
else.
That's funny. So going into this year, is there anything that you guys did last year, which clearly was not very successful, that you're gonna be like, I absolutely do not want to do that, or I'm gonna stay away from?
I'm gonna stay away from drafting players that Cohen wanted, and I'm gonna draft players I need this year. That's gonna win us a game.
Okay, so unpack that, because like I remember hearing from
Uh-huh.
Cohen about how the draft last year for y'all's team was kind of it kind of went downhill really fast.
See,
So what happened?
we had a good team set up. We had it going into the draft. We draft them, and then we have players that went to play school. They made the team, so they're not playing for Student Impact anymore. So we're losing players off that, and then we're losing players who want to go play with other teams. So then we're down to like 7 players. Who,
Wait, so players just like switched? Like they were like, we don't want to be on your team. Can I go?
that's basically how it felt.
So
I'm
do you
sure
not
what they're
do
doing.
they switch with other players or do they just
They're
like go to a
not
team?
supposed
I
to.
don't think we ever received any players either. So we're just down a
They
couple
just
players.
left.
Because didn't you lose like your first, second, and third
Yeah.
round picks?
Yes.
It's like, that's bad.
Wasn't there like during the draft night too, like Cohen would like go raise his hand for somebody and then like someone would go instead and like take, I feel like there were multiple instances that he said something like
remember.
that happening. And it's like, you just got unlucky.
Sounds like excuses from Cohen.
Yeah,
to me.
I think so too. I think he just had bad picks.
Yeah, that's on him.
So would you say that you enjoy like playing or coaching more? Like what's the
Oh.
difference in that experience for you?
I think I'm definitely more of a player. 'Cause
Yeah.
I like to obviously be in the game, then watch the game, and then have to control like timeouts and all that. So I like playing a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So as a player, is there like a difference when you're playing the sport in Student Impact where like you're captains and like there's not coaches necessarily and so it's just teammates in the team versus like other leagues where you have to always have coaches and like adults that are ahead of you?
Yeah, it's definitely different because those players that are captains are also playing are not watching the game totally. They're also playing, so they don't see like what other coaches might see, like when to call timeouts or like fouls that they want the rest. They can't like argue with the refs
Yeah.
when they're in the game.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
That's
do you
true.
think that that's like a pro is having captains or like what do you think the pros are and what are the cons?
Pros are having a full team, knowing your coaches. Cons are not having a leader, really. They're just also a player on the team.
I think it probably depends on the age too, right? Like your juniors and your seniors, even some of your 9th and 10th graders, like I think it really is unique and fun to have like the students, like high schoolers or other players, be captain / coaches and whatever, because you're playing with your friends, right? I think we coached, me and Jaden coached 7th and 8th grade last year, and it was the difficult part of it was like we didn't like get together that many times outside of it. It's like teaching. We probably ran our actual offensive set like twice the entire school year,
Solid.
and so, but I mean, that's part of the upside of the league too, right?
Yeah.
Because it's so much. It's chill, it's relaxed, it's fun. Everybody gets to play,
Yeah.
and I think that's what attracts people to
Yeah.
it. In a lot
Did
of
you
ways.
ever play in a league like that growing up?
Well, actually, not in like any organized league, but growing up, we had this thing in our neighborhood. There are like 5 or 6 houses in our neighborhood with kids all the same age. So it was like our little friend group, and we'd like bike around everywhere. So we made this thing called the NBL, the Neighborhood Basketball League.
Okay.
And it was like teams of 2, and everybody's house was a home court. and like we had like a full season, and then we met up. We were like 4th or 5th graders, and then we met up at the elementary school to play the championship. And so like we like organized some weird league.
So
It was funny.
cute.
Yeah.
That's like when there was like during COVID, like a fight club thing that was going on. Do you remember this?
I don't.
And
remember.
everyone
Don't
would
talk about
post.
Fight Club.
It was like everyone in the grade, my grade and like the grade below me, so yours I guess, they would like post where they were having fights at in certain neighborhoods during COVID on Instagram. And so it'd be like someone's story like, this kid
Instapales.
fighting this kid
Oh
at 6
my
p.m.
gosh.
Show up. It was like a huge thing. Maybe it was just people
I
I
don't
knew.
remember that.
Okay, well, maybe I had weird
Yeah.
friends. I never partook in any of them. Dom, do you think that for you, like as a student, that would have been something beneficial for you to be in a league with like student impacts?
I think when you're that age, I think you just I would have wanted to just play as much as possible. So like I think me, I'm like hyper competitive. So like I would have wanted the high competition leagues, but I also would have loved to just have another place, another outlet, another place to like be able to play. I think some of the like the small things and nuggets that are like unique to our league, where like the high schoolers will like wear suits and like they'll show up and like we draw like big crowds from the high school that'll come watch their friends play. I think those are the kind of things that like I would have been really excited about. Because number one, you'd get to be around older kids and like learn from them and build relationships with them. But then like it's just this really chill environment, relaxed, that also has like a really cool element of like fandom, so to speak, or like just excitement around it because of your friends and the people that come.
Yeah. Do you think that the feel of the environment in this league is something that like helps people want to be part of it and like go to the games versus like school games or other leagues?
Yeah, I think they see all their friends playing. They're like, I want to get a part of this. I want to play. I want to have fun every Friday.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a big part of it. I think there are for sure a lot of like cool things that happen within like school leagues or super competitive travel or whatever it is. But I do think there's something to be said about how like just everybody gets to play, and you know it's just fun in that way.
Yeah, like what are the odds that on Friday nights like an entire grade of kids is at the pack watching stupid basketball like that no one really has to care about?
Yeah.
But I just think it's kind of cool.
So what does a draft day usually look like at Student Impact? Because I've never like seen it happen before. I've just gone to the games. So like, do you guys draft here? Like, is that what it is?
So I know last time I went to a draft, it was at a church down the road from the school, and it was just like you say a number of the player you want, and you take the sticky note, and that's your player. You got him from there.
Yeah. It was like that last year too, because like so last year was the first year I was here and like on staff and helped with basketball a little bit, and that was the way we did it, just like below us downstairs, and it worked the same way. It was pretty cool. But like there were people fighting about it and all that kind of stuff, like, getting people and all that kind of stuff. So there's some really cool like friendly banter that happens within it, because you can tell, even though it is like super relaxed, you guys want to be you want to have fun with your friends. And
it's fun because it's like you're actually playing your friends versus like other leagues, like you're on the same team with all of them. Do you feel like at school that's kind of fun? Like, do you guys talk about it at all, like on game days or?
Yeah, we'll see our friends that were playing that Friday, and you'll have some beef with them, and you'll want to say something in the hallway to them, and you're setting up your starting lineup and who you want to play defense on. So it's not just Fridays. You're setting it up all the way through the week.
Yeah.
So for you guys, how much like preparation did you guys do with your team, with your players, like trying to figure out like what buttons you're going to push offensively or defensively, and then just like balancing, having fun, and like really wanting to beat everybody?
Yeah, we'd make a group chat with all of our teams from every year, and we'd say what we want to get done. We want to say we're going to have fun, but we also want to win at the same time. So we'll try to set up plays. You know, plays don't really work in Student Impact. They never have. It's always just like messing around, having fun. But you also want to win. So you try to get them energized, get them ready. But at the end of the day, it's all about how much fun you're having on that basketball court.
I can understand that.
Yeah. Cool. For you going into this year, what is something you're really looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to being a head coach this year. I've always been the assistant, but now I get to actually lead my team and we're gonna win games this year. It's not gonna be like the other years. We're gonna go win a championship. We're gonna fight for it.
So in March, when the season's over and you haven't won any games, can we bring you back on? And
Bring me back on. Bring me back on. And then when I win a championship, I'll bring my trophy.
Okay. You'll have it sitting with you.
We should have brought the trophy up.
We should have. But
Do
his
you
name's
have
not
an
on it.
assistant with you, or is it just going to be you this year?
I'm not sure, honestly. I may have an assistant. I think we're looking to do it, but I'm not 100% yet.
Okay. Yeah, because it's not all like official yet, right, Dom?
No,
You're the basketball guy.
Yeah, it's not official yet. I feel like I'm not even technically, I don't even know where I'm coaching is, partly because like I'm trying to like hang back and see if there's like a specific spot that I need to jump into. But it'd be awesome to like coach with Jaden again, or coach with Chris, his dad.
Yeah.
And some of that kind of stuff. So we got to coach Jaden's little brother and then a bunch of his friends, and that was really cool last year because I've worked with youth students at our church, and like that's how we met. Like at that point, like half the youth group.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
So
Do you have certain kids that you're like really hoping you get on your team?
Yeah, so we have this team set up. We're going to try to get them. It's not always going to go as planned, but trying to get Cooper Greer on our team, and we're going to get his buddies on there. There's some good basketball players on that team, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Do you have a strategy going into this season as the head coach that you're like, this is how I'm going to win the championship this year?
I don't. We're just going to send it.
Just going to wing it.
sounds like Coach of the Year material.
Yeah, I think so too. Last year, the Coach of the Years gave themselves like a bio, like if they were to describe themselves in 3 words and like why they should be the championship winners, what they were. So what would your bio be?
I'm going to have to go energized, mentality, and courage.
That's
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty solid.
Who
What do you-
decides Coach of the Year?
I don't know. Oh, the students vote, don't they? The
I think
players.
So.
and
Yeah,
students?
there's a poll we sent out.
Yeah. I just like
Yeah.
blanked that whole time. Yeah,
Same.
they vote, and then like at the last game of the season, right?
We present the Catch of the Year trophy. Yeah.
Yeah. Did
That's
you
pretty cool.
play in the captains tournament last year?
I did play in the
Yeah,
captain's
what
team.
What did you think of that?
Yeah.
I thought it was actually really fun because we got older guys out there who are just coaching the young guys, but you also got captains out there playing, and it was a good time actually.
So would you do it again?
I would 100% do that
Okay,
again. Yeah.
Cool. That was really fun to watch too, because like we didn't see those
Yeah.
coaches or captains playing, so it was fun. You played too,
Yeah,
right?
I played too.
Were you sore the next day?
Oh, it was bad. I'm not in good shape for that.
Ours had like, so the one he played in was like all dads and then like a few young guys, and they all were like limping off the court afterwards.
Yeah, my legs were like cramping, like everywhere. And so I was just like, every step was just like, okay.
We had one guy who was like in his hot tub and like using the massage gun, like not even an hour afterwards. We're like, oh man, this will not be
He
good.
probably hasn't been on a basketball court for years.
Yeah, it was a little rusty. There was one guy who showed up in like a neon windbreaker and like a neon tank top and like his super old we're like, clearly you're from the 80s and you should not be out here right now. But it was fun to watch. Do you have any weak points you think going into this season?
Weak
Completely
points?
honest.
I think it's gonna be weak points are gonna be not having plays. I don't have plays set up yet. Need to get that figured out. But other than that, I feel like we're ready for this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit what the like what's it called? Evals?
Yeah,
Can
evals.
you explain like kind of what that, because that like, is that done differently than most teams do it, or like most leagues, or is it pretty similar to how?
I personally think it's pretty similar. Of course, I only have 1 year to like
Yeah.
work off of, but like when you go to a tryout, when you go to like anything like that, they want to see what your skills are and like how in shape you are. Like, can you shoot? Can you pass? Can you play defense at all? And so it's set up similarly. I'm sure there are differences for sure,
Yeah.
but it's set up. The premises is basically the same, I would say. I mean, how would you like describe it? I guess in comparison to like, I don't know, like your lacrosse tryouts or anything or like your middle school tryout.
I think for lacrosse, it's a lot more like it's a lot more running. They got to see your athleticism, and then for basketball, it's more like, can you shoot? Can you pass?
Yeah.
And it's like a lot different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the captains make all of those like drills. Is that how that works? I've never been to
so
one.
typically we have that set up where like we know that like court 1 and court 2 are going to be like layup lines or shooting drills. Court 3 and 4 are going to be like passing and like defense, and like court 5 and 6 are going to be scrimmages. So like open runs where the coaches get to see like, can these guys play? Can they not? And then that's how you put it together to figure out like who you want to draft. I guess.
Going into that as a player, is it different than going into another leagues because it's like it's going to be more chill and you're not going to get kicked off? Like, is it more relaxed and just fun when you get there?
Yeah, because you're not really worried about if you're going to make a team or not. You're just there to have fun. You're not stressing over anything. You're just there to do what you know how to do and not have to worry about much.
Well, I feel like evals is probably one of the places where like some of the kids get a little crafty to try to figure out like to try to get on like jostle for position to get on the team that they want to get on. Because like some of them, like I know like last year there were a number of kids that like some of like Cohen or Bahar were talking about, and like they didn't even show up to evals, and it's because then like nobody knows how good they are or something like that, and like there's all these like weird switcheroos and stuff like that, and like it's just part of the gamesmanship, I guess, of how you guys handle like trying to like put together a team of your friends that can beat everybody else.
I think the only time I've ever showed up for an eval as a player would be 7th grade, and then ever since then I have not showed up. For that. Exactly.
Because it's always during like football season, right? That so it's hard to like be there, and you don't want to show your skills.
Exactly. That's what I was doing.
For you, what part of the process of the year is like your favorite? Whether it's like evals, draft, like the season starting, maybe the tournament or coaching or whatever. What is it?
I'm gonna have to go with the playoffs and the tournament because that's where everything gets super competitive. You don't see people chucking up half-court shots anymore. You see them doing layup lines or warm-ups, getting ready for this game and locking in. And then you also, during that time, you also have the captain games, which are fun. And I think it's a lot more competitive, which I like during that playoff time.
Do you think it's just like the competition rises to the top because it's a tournament, or is there like an extra step of preparation that you guys put into like, oh, the tournament's coming up, we need to lock in with this or this?
I think we start locking in on just like the basics and not messing around. We gotta lock in with our normal shots like layups, and we're not chucking up threes every other shot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you have like a core memory from Student Impact Basketball of all the years you've been involved? Because they can do like pretty crazy fun plays that you can't do in a normal league. So you have a core memory from one of the games or like a practice or something? My
core memory from Student Impact would have to be 8th grade year. We won the championship 8th grade year. So that has really stuck with me ever since then, because I got to win with one of my good friends, Caleb, and we also got to beat one of my other good friends who's on the other team in the championship game. So it stuck with me ever since.
Yeah.
Is that the thing that made you want to coach, or did you coach that year as well?
That year, I don't think I coached, but it made me want to get a team together to go win a championship like I did my 8th grade year.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Do you think, have you won a championship as a coach, I guess, or no?
No.
So he's been with Cohen, of course not.
Do you think that it will be more enjoyable to win like the championship like you did in 8th grade as a player or as a coach?
I'd have to say player, because I feel like I'm more involved with winning the game. So just being able to be in the game, score the points that you're winning the tournament. You led that team there.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
So you played Student Impact Basketball, and then now you are a coach. How has that transition like felt? And you also watching the students, do you like have a good like resemblance with it because you have been on that court?
Yeah, I've been there in their position. I know what they're feeling. Like some of them may feel nervous, some of them are just there to have fun. So I know what it was like to be in their shoes on that court playing during that time.
Has that like strengthened your like dynamic with them?
So like these older coaches, they haven't played basketball for years, but I'm playing during that same time. I know what this modern basketball is like, and it's helpful with coaching.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that gives you like a leg up? Like what do you see because you're playing now that you think is different than like what some of those older coaches?
Yeah, some of those older coaches, they ran different things as they were kids, and that may be the last time they played. So knowing the new modern basketball, just teaching the new guys and being one of the new guys.
Yeah.
You get to get a heads up on them.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's even from when I graduated high school in 2016, and like that was right when like Steph started coming up, right? So like that was when you started seeing guys shoot from the outside and like like drift out to half court, and it wasn't just this stupid thing that people were doing. Like people actually started doing it, and so like I feel like that's like the main way that the game has changed since like I've been playing. But like, what would you say is like a big difference between your approach versus like basketball before?
I think right now we see a lot more individuality over team playing. Like I feel like back then, you know, not back then, but you know, like 10 years ago, it was more like a team game. But now we're seeing a lot of players go off on their own, score these 30-point games with like 0 assists. And I think that's a lot more often than what we used to see.
Do you like that, or do you feel like it needs to drift back a little bit more?
I think it needs to go back a little bit more. I think we need to start involving everyone on the team instead of having one main player playing all the time.
Yeah. How do you balance that with like in a league like ours where like you probably do. You have guys that are hyper competitive, really want to win, care about the offensive sets and like how you're going to play the game. But then you probably have other people who like, because of the nature of our league, just really want to have fun. So how do you like balance the two with like your approach to basketball in general?
We got to make sure we're getting all the guys on the court as much as possible and taking some of those guys out that aren't passing, you know?
Yeah.
So setting up plays for some players to shoot and this guy get an assist every once in a while.
Yeah.
That's really what I do.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good approach.
Who is the best basketball player of all time?
See, I want to say Michael Jordan, but seeing LeBron still playing at his age, I think I'm going to have to go LeBron.
Yeah? How old's LeBron?
How old?
Yeah, is he old?
40.
Yeah, 40 something.
Okay.
Really?
Sure.
And then when did Michael Jordan stop playing?
It was about the same time, but he wasn't as good in
Wasn't
his
as
40s
consistent.
as LeBron is.
Yeah.
So is the like the youngest one that's good? Like what's his name? Steph.
The youngest one that's the top player. I mean, it's probably going to be Victor Wembanyama at some point.
Yeah.
What team is he on?
He's on the San Antonio Spurs. Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
act
know.
like I know. what
Yeah,
that
me
is.
too.
Yeah. Young guy that's probably the best is probably
Yeah.
like, I don't know, Luka or Giannis, one of those two.
Yeah, Luka or Victor, yeah.
Mhm.
They're going to develop and get good.
So before you guys like go to a game, what's your advice that you give to your players before the game?
Yeah, this one?
Last year for us, it was a lot about like being selfless. Like we saw the same thing. Like we had nights where like one guy would take a bunch of shots and it's like, we need to move the ball, share the love a little bit. And I think the big thing that I like told our kids was like, you need to focus. Like you guys make a lot of like silly mistakes that like lead to turnovers or lead to giving up points on defense, that like if you would focus and pay attention and not be messing around, like it's okay to have fun for sure. That's what we're here for. But like we might lose games or we might like get blown up by 40 because of the compounding of like silly mistakes. So it was really just focus, you know?
Yeah.
I have to say, let your players know when to have fun and then let them know when to lock in and start playing.
Yeah.
Because like some of these games, like playoffs, that may be your last game. So you need to, you know, be competitive and not be shooting some of these shots.
Yeah.
As athletes grow, because I never was very involved in sports. Like I always just had jobs.
You didn't play paint in school?
I played paint, but that's it. So, but I never was like in competitive sports. But as athletes growing up, what is like a life lesson that you're gonna take from playing sports your whole life and take them into like the real world and like adulthood?
I'll just say teamwork. You know, being able to work with others is definitely what I've taken most from all the sports I've played.
Okay.
Just being able to work with other people, because that later in a job, you're going to have coworkers that you need to be able to work with just as well.
Yeah.
I would say like anything that's worth doing requires hardship, right? Like I hated like running and doing sprints and conditioning, and like there was a time I hated lifting weights and all that kind of stuff, but like doing that is what helps you like perform and like put your best foot forward when you're on the court or on the field or whatever it is. And so I feel like that's a good life lesson, because like any job you're gonna have, there's gonna be elements of it that you don't like, and I think it's important because like you still got to do it, and you know it can also have like rewards in it that you don't even realize in the moment. So
You obviously had like a lasting relationship with Cohen through this league, but have you made any relationships like with the kids you've coached that you're like still friends with them, that you wouldn't have been friends with them without the league or anything like that?
Yeah, so we coach Cohen's little brother Leighton every year, and I've gotten to know him pretty well because I've played with him some years, I've coached him some years, so I see him in the hallway, say what's up to him sometimes. I got to know him pretty well through Student Impact.
Yeah, cool. Dom, you obviously made some connections through
Yeah.
the league.
Yeah. We had a bunch of like the kids that we have in our youth group now. We met because of Student Impact basketball, and that was really cool. We like the few times we got together were because like some of those kids would come over to our apartment complex at the time, and we'd play in our apartment complex.
Before you got banned.
Because they said we could only bring 2 guests in, and it's like you can't even play 2-on-2.
Yeah.
Like, that's dumb. So I don't know. It happens.
Yeah. Do you have, so like if you were talking to somebody who had no idea what Student Impact basketball was, why would you tell them to join the league?
I would say because it's fun, but it's not like other basketball where it's super competitive all the time. You get to meet new people. It's a great community that you get to meet with every Friday and just play basketball.
Yeah.
Just have a good time.
Yeah, I would say the same. Like, it's just a place to be able to like play basketball and have fun with it. You can also get to play with your friends. But I also think that like the competitiveness of it when you get to the tournament, even like little wrinkles like the coaches tournament and stuff like that, I think that that's something that people get excited about. And I think that, you know, the biggest reward of it is that like you guys will talk about it in school and like be like picking on each other and talking trash like in the hallways like leading up to the game or after the game or whatever. And you know, I feel like those are the types of memories that you know you remember. Like you remember winning in 8th grade and all that kind of stuff. And you know, that kind of stuff, it matters. It's cool.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, thank you for coming on the podcast and telling us about your experience. We toast at the end of every podcast, and
Max still hasn't nailed it yet.
Yeah, I don't know why it's such a difficult concept for me. But is there anything you guys would like to toast to?
I just say like a good basketball season. I'm excited for, you know, this is our second year for my family to be here in town and to be involved in it in a little bit of a more involved way, and so it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited for what it can be. So yeah.
And
I like that.
to winning the championship.
And to win.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You've got a glass right here. And so I think, okay, to a great basketball season and winning the championship. Cheers!
There we go.
Was that right?
Yeah, that was right.
That's a wrap.